Hi friends, this is the Be Real Babe podcast, a place where your average Canadian wolfpack come together to talk about life stresses, messes, and successes. A safe space where being yourself is the ultimate goal. Each week we will bring you new episodes sharing our opinions on a ton of different topics in hopes we can get a better understanding of ourselves, each other, and this crazy world we live in. We want to build a community where we can show up as ourselves, be real, and lay it all out there. By sharing our opinions and experiences, we hope to reach others who can relate so we can all help each other learn, grow, and heal. But please keep in mind, as a disclaimer, none of us here are professionals, no one is giving any advice. We are strictly speaking of our life experiences, our opinions, and for entertainment purposes only. Now, with that being said, it's time. So grab your drink, grab your joint, and let's jump right in. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Be Real Babe podcast. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by the show today. We hope that you have a good time. And if you're a returning listener, watcher, supporter, thank you guys so much from the bottom of our hearts for coming back time and time again. For those that don't know me, my name is Brandy. I am the host of the show. And today, you guys, we're on episode 168, season 6, final episode. Da, da, da. Just kidding. Not final episode of forever, but final episode of season 6. Holy shit, fuck balls. That means it's January 2024 that we're in right now while you're listening to me. It's the third week of January, third Friday. I cannot believe we are here, you guys. How have we got here? How have I done full 6 seasons? Still, I don't think I've missed 1 week since we started in March 1st, 2021. That is insane. I cannot believe we are here. I'm so excited, you guys. So excited to wrap up this season. I have a couple surprises for you in this episode. Some announcements to make. Nothing major. Don't worry, we're coming back for season 7. Things will just be a little different. And because of these big changes, I am taking 1 episode off of the season early. An episode did not work out that we really were hoping to sneak in for this season. But timing just did not work out. And your girl is exhausted. I don't know if you guys know this, but for 5.5 months out of each season, out of the 6 months that we kind of have, because I have that break, I am running nonstop to try and record, book guests, edit, which I don't do a very good job of. I don't edit as much as I wish I could, all the content, posting everything, coming up with all the words that go to all the posts, all the words that go with the episodes. It's just a lot. And the end of 2023 was super busy, super happy, so excited for everything that was and is to come. But I'm going to take this opportunity. When the universe gives you a bone, you fucking take it. So I am taking it. Thank you, universe. So you're going to have 1 less episode in season 6, but we are coming back in season 7, full on 1 episode a week. I'm very, very excited. That will be March 1st, 2024. Ironically, March 1st is on a Friday, so launch day is still going to be Friday. How fucking perfect is that? So I'm going to take a couple weeks off and then get started early February to get ahead of the season. Very, very excited. There's going to be a lot of changes coming up, but they're needed, guys. We're going to go to season 10, and the reason why I do seasons is because I do like to change. I do like to reevaluate. I do like to change the theme and the look, and everybody else has different seasons too, right? So we're just kind of ebbing and flowing with the way things are going, and I am just excited to take a little tiny break. As much as I absolutely love doing this, it is exhausting work, and your girl needs a whole weekend of sleep. As all I'm going to do next weekend is just sleep the whole weekend, not socialize, not talk to anybody, just be. No reel making, no word making, no scheduling, no nothing. I'm going to take a full probably week off of the social media on the page. Just give us a tiny little break, and then we'll come back hard. And season 7 is going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to it. But before we get on to this awesome final episode, I just want to remind you, if you are listening to the audio platforms like Spotify or Apple, you can turn on the notifications and give your girls some reviews if you feel like a little bit of love to start off 2024. We would love it. If you are listening on the video platforms like YouTube, Rumble, or Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, you can like, comment, and subscribe. That helps us beat the algorithms. I see we're slowly climbing up there, guys. Each one I see, we're slowly going up. The views are going up. I'm so fucking grateful. And if you are wanting to follow us on social media, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at the Be Real Babe podcast. Go over there. I share stories every day, posting almost every single day, give you links to new episodes, little clips, and just my comedy in the stories and things I like very much. So I appreciate you guys so, so much as always for listening. If you want your own episode in season 7, if you have a guest you want to see on a topic, you just shoot us a message and I am there to listen and to chat. But I'm going to shut the fuck up and we're going to get into this amazing episode and see you guys in a little bit after this one. All right, babes, it's time to get on to the show. And with me today is my beautiful co host, Hales. Hey, babes, how are ya?
Hey man,
Happy
how's it going?
2024 on the show.
Oh
It's your first one of the
my
year,
God,
of the new year.
isn't
Can you
that
believe it?
insane?
Yeah,
2024.
I know. And I was telling Dusty too in the last episode, like, remember at the beginning of 2020 in the pandemic when it was like trials would be open 2023 and that seemed like light years away. And even though
Yeah,
that seems like light years ago, sometimes it also feels like, holy shit, I don't know, that three
we're
years
past
seemed,
that.
yeah, isn't that fucked? I don't know if that
We're
hit you this year,
past
but like,
past that hump. Honestly, it's still like I'm still very much at work and everything in the writing January
oh,
2023. I have no idea what my dates are. I'm just
no.
kind of all over the map.
The other,
My first week was an absolute shit show of
it's
just I feel like a lot of people I talked to, the first week of 2024 was just kind of like a
insane. Yeah, it didn't come in
like
lightly. I had year end.
what is going on? Yeah.
I walked
It
back into
was
year end. And so it's like the worst part about being inventory is like you're already always in the month behind. So it's like I'm trying to live as January 2020, but I'm also like reconciling and I'm like going back and forth between, and I'm like, what am I
uh
doing? And then I wrote like September something and I was like, oh no, like this is what we're doing now. We're just making up stuff. We're
I
just really,
have no idea where I
I
am.
don't
Where
know
am
who.
I?
Time is not real. That is what the bitch seen on the back of the
Oh my
plane. It was
God.
time. It is not
Dude,
real.
it was definitely a fucking doozy. And the last week of December, Nick and I were talking.
Wild.
I haven't been sick in forever, and I
Mhm.
Uh-huh. got smacked in the face with congestion to the point of like me and a girlfriend were laughing because like I couldn't smell or taste anything. We're like,
No.
oh,
Uh-oh.
here it is.
There
Like
it is. It's the
we
end. You're
got it,
dying.
but
Just kidding.
it's all back now. I can smell and taste. I changed a diaper today that was absolutely vile, and I can
Really wish that you
100%
were.
confirm that my scent is back. It was disgusting.
It's
So
like, can I just have that symptom at those times?
yeah,
If I can choose.
like I will be the first to admit we've had them for fucking going on 15 years, and I am not the primary litter box changer, but
Mm.
all last week I could have done it every day. It was great. I couldn't smell shit. It was fantastic. I was like, he's like, why don't you go do that? I was like, I will.
You
I
know what?
fucking will do
That's
that.
not a problem at all. Honestly, that's the only time I actually like masks
Oh,
because it actually does like did like hold the smell back.
pneumonia.
Yeah.
Even doing
Ugh.
hair in hair school, if anyone knows, anyone watching, perm solution smells like cat piss. And I
Yes.
could not, I was so thankful I didn't have to do any, but I refused. I was like, I just will not do perms. It'll just
No.
be my no on my
Mm,
no list. I just
mm-mm.
could not handle that smell. So yeah, losing my scent and having to do the litter box was not the end of the world
Not
to
the end of
me.
the world. No, no. So yeah, this is like catching up. So guys, last I like time. We're end of season 6. I can't believe it. When I talk to some people
It's
sometimes I'm like, "Oh, and I'm episode like 160 something." I'm like, "Holy shit.
isn't that crazy to say?
That's a lot.
Never mind
That's
the
a lot."
hundreds, but like you're on the ass end of the
I
hundreds now.
know. I know. We're going to have to get all 4 of us together for the 200. That might be in like season 8.
Yes.
But yeah, I was like, we'll have to do
Yes,
that to
I know.
celebrate because I'll definitely hit that in the time frame because as I mentioned, guys, and I'm committing to 10 seasons, so we'll definitely hit 200 in that 10
We'll have
seasons.
to
I
get the
think maybe
balloons
8.
again.
Yeah, I'll have to get balloons and
I'm kind of pissed. I think I got rid of the zero. Damn it.
I think I have one somewhere. I think somewhere. I remember Danielle brought them back to me. I'm like, "You're so cute. That was
We'll just
$5. You could have
we'll
thrown that out."
recycle my we'll
Yeah.
recycle the zero pictures and get a two in
Yeah,
there.
we'll just get a 2. Yeah, or just like put a piece of paper on the 1 to make it look like a 2. DIY shit, just be
Really
real
shitty
cute.
Photoshop of a
Yeah,
two.
do that for sure. But yeah, it's been a while, guys. So since we last talked, it was like December. So how was, I know we talk in real life, but how was your holiday season?
Holiday season. Okay, so our holiday seasons are very like different. So sometimes we're in Quebec visiting Nick's family, sometimes we're here visiting mine. This year was a here year, which thank God because traveling with now someone who's over 2 is not only 3 plane tickets, which is a fucking arm and a leg to go East Coast Canada,
At that
but it's
time of
just
the
a
year.
lot of chaos. So I was thankful to be here. However, it was still chaos. It was absolute pandemonium chaos. Like just I have a newfound respect for my day home provider and anyone that like has to spend 24/7 with anyone other than their kids specifically, but like I have one child, and it was just a lot to be home for a week,
Mhm.
keeping her busy, trying to keep things going. My house was an absolute bomb gone off in our house. Nick and I were very much of the like the December 26th came around first thing in the morning. I'm like taking decorations off the tree. I'm
Mm.
like, this bitch is gone.
You're
I need
gone.
everything. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. We've had
That's fair.
decorations and everything up for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
I'm so over it. So other than that, it was good. Family was good.
Good.
Christmas was treated us well. Evie was reasonably spoiled, I'll say. Like it was very nice.
Good.
But
No snow?
yeah, I could have used another week though.
Oh,
My God.
fair. Was there, did you have
I
snow
could
for Christmas?
So our entire break was one of the craziest thing. I was telling my aunt today. Nick built Evie her big girl bed for Christmas, and he was
Yeah.
outside sanding and working on it, which one was nice enough for Nick to be outside working. There's no
That's
snow covering our
so
driveway.
wild.
It was
So
so
wild.
bizarre. I was putzing around the house at one point in like a t-shirt and my underwear, and I went out to say something to him, and I didn't even realize until I was halfway like across my deck to him that I was outside in my underwear and it was like perfectly nice
Fine.
out. I was like,
Yeah.
it is December like 28th. What the fuck is this?
That's
Like,
so weird.
so
It's
we
so
finally
weird.
got snow today. It was
Oh,
very foggy.
yeah, it was foggy here
Today
too.
it's funny. It was only -8, but you could feel that like crisp
Cold.
winter
It's coming.
air.
It's coming.
So, and we did look, we have our -20s
Yeah.
coming here in the next week. So we have
We have
officially hit
minus
winter.
20. We have minus
Yeah,
20. Like, where Grant's going, is going to be
it's
minus 30, and Grand Prairie is going to be minus 40 when he leaves. And I'm like, okay, winter is,
it's
she's
insane.
coming. She's coming
It's hit
quick.
us. But I will say I will take 4 months
Mm,
of yuck versus our normal 7 to 6 months of yuck. So
100%.
like
I know. I'm
this
very
year was a
blessed.
blessing.
It
Like it was
was.
beautiful.
It was.
So yeah, it was pretty much a brownish Christmas. There was
Yeah.
really no snow. I wanted to go tobogganing so bad with Evie, and I mean, everyone always says, "Well, you could have gone to the big snow hills that like make the snow with like snow machines," but like the little ones by our house are so much better, and we just
One of
didn't
the,
really have it to do. So
yeah.
it was a very odd but fun Christmas. I
Yeah.
didn't mind being able to wear my runners and not being, yeah, shoveling every day and having to
Mm,
keep up with that. But um no, Christmas break was pretty I
nice.
accept and I enjoyed.
I accepted. I enjoyed. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
I was
good.
not mad at it.
No, I know. I feel like that week, yeah, like you said, it's nice almost to have another one after that because it's just so much going
A break
on at
from
the
the break.
tail ends. It's like you just catching up from Christmas and then all of a sudden it's New Year's and then you don't have very much time to like get ready to go back to regular life, it feels like. So it's like
Well, that was
today
kind of the thing
felt
too, is like New
lazy.
Year's was the Sunday, and then you got the
Yeah.
Monday New Year's Day,
Yeah.
and
And then
then
back to work
back to work on
Tuesday.
the Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. It was like back to year end. I was like, this is a
Yeah.
lot. And we had an audit just as we left. And then I kind of left. And then it was like, I'll deal that with 2024. And then I got back. I was like, damn it.
That mentality is so dangerous too.
I
I'll
know.
just deal with it when I get back, and then you get back, it's like, why the fuck did I do that to
I
myself?
know. One of my favorite things
I
though is
love
going
it.
through my inbox and just like selecting
Oh
anything
yeah.
that's 2023 and just moving it into a folder that says 2023. And I'm like, if it's important, they'll bring the chain back up. No, I'm just kidding. Like I have the
Yeah,
ones highlighted that are important, but it was just that's my one thing about the New Year's. I'm just gonna throw this in a folder
it's
so I don't
over.
delete it, but it's not in my inbox anymore. It's
I
so it's
will say
nice and
there is quite
clean.
a few emails from some of our clients from like the 28th and 27th, and it was one of
Mhm.
those like, girl, take time off. Don't be
Yes.
emailing me.
Oh, I
Take your
had no
time.
choice. Oh gosh, I
Yeah.
had to work. I had to work a couple hours a couple days in between because the
Oh,
companies that work for us and the provincial boards that we supply, they're still working those days. So they're expecting
isn't that
us
insane?
to kind of work, but the production facility was shut down. So like I wasn't getting any messages from the business running. It was more of my like exterior kind of people
Like
that I
the
deal with.
outgoing and
Yeah, which
internal. Yeah.
wasn't terrible, but then I got sat down on my computer on the 28th and I was like, what the fuck do I do
Ew.
for a job? Like, what is my name?
Ew.
What is my, I had to go back to like sent emails and like reread from like
How
an
do I
email
write
I do
this?
every single week. But I was like, and who do I send that to? And I was just like, just go back, just make sure, like, you ate a lot of junk food and smoked a lot of weed and a lot of excitement, a lot of shit going on.
Yeah,
Like, just don't trust yourself right now.
I love them.
Yeah.
It was definitely chaotic going back to work. I had zero
Yeah.
motivation to do shit last week. It was so
Fair.
hard to like get myself back into the
Focus mode or
yeah.
like work mode.
I
Yeah.
think it's like that thing. You always see those memes like whoever like comes back from vacation reinvigorated to go back to work. Like
No.
congratulations, and
Yeah.
like I really like commend you because like I have never. I have
I
never once been like, I can't wait to go back to work. I'm like, no.
I mean, I
I
wish
could
I
use
could
another
live on
sick
vac.
day.
Yeah, I think we talked about this too. Like, you guys have kids too, right? So it's like that's definitely. I think for me, I would go crazy if I didn't have something to go back to. So unlike, I, the cats would. I'm already home for a couple days, and they're like, "Get the fuck back to
The
work
cats are
already,
probably like that. Go
please."
back to work.
Yeah,
Fuck.
like you're driving me
Please.
nuts. I'm like, somebody be home. Like, and Grant being gone, I'm like, I need a job. So I was
Love
definitely,
me.
yeah, out of the group being like, I was very excited to go back to work and talk to humans and have a reason to
When you
brush my
said that
teeth.
too, I was like, oh,
Like, I'm
bless you,
sorry.
Brandy. But like, I was so of the opposite
I
opinion. Like, no,
know.
I don't
And
agree with nothing.
I really wanted to join in and be like, yeah, fuck that. But I was like, okay, no, 2024, you're being honest and you love your job and you were very excited to go see humans. Okay. After Grant left, it was like, okay, this is a lot of home
I love
time.
it.
But
I
I totally get
honestly
it
was
though.
just thankful for all the emails I had because I got to do an easy day coming in, answer my
Nice.
emails, go through the emails, and get
Yeah.
that stuff done. So yeah, we
It's
were not of the
nice.
same opinion. However, I really appreciate it. It made me think like, fuck, why am I like I should be thankful I have a
No.
job to come back
And
to.
I
Like,
was like, they're gonna hate me. And
don't
it
do
was the
that.
same
Yeah,
thing with the girls at work too. They're all like, fuck, and like, can't believe we're back. And I'm like, yee.
hi
And I was like,
guys,
hi,
hi.
we're back. And I was
Miss
like,
you.
people hate me so much. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's get to some
Um,
year end.
yeah,
Whee!
woo. I guess for, I don't know, it's just one of those times where I'm just like, I'm so in a motivated point in my life right
Yeah.
now. And like, obviously, with Christmas and the engagement, that just got me more excited about things. And it's like,
Yes,
I
let's
can't.
for
So
Brandy being
excited.
freaking engaged.
Yeah, Merry Christmas
Love
to me.
it.
Yeah, I was very shocked. So yeah, it just kind of, it was funny today at the gym. It's not that I'm not motivated, but I've been in the gym for like 12 years. So like I've been doing this for a long time and I don't have like a bodybuilding competition or like a fitness goal. I just go because it feels good. It's good for me.
Yeah,
I like what it does in all aspects and da 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 da. But like when you don't have a goal like that, then sometimes it's rather unmotivating when you do the same shit in and out.
you can feel very tedious about it,
Very
right?
tedious. And then when you're, I'm so used to me and Grant going together and it's a thing we do
Mhm.
together, and so when he's not here and it's across town and it's cold outside and I have a gym downstairs with cats and I can sing and where whatever I want, it's very hard for me to go.
I
Um,
love it.
right. And so I haven't been as much because I'm like, I'm still training. I'm just doing 3 days there and then doing at home for the rest. And
Yeah,
I was sitting there today and I was like, fuck, I gotta get out of this like funk. And I was like, okay, hold on, bitch. You're going into your wifey era. And like, even though me and Grant have been together for 7 years and nothing really changed, everything did change though. And it was
it's
just
a
like,
whole
whole new
new.
thought process of like, I want to be
Yeah.
the best wife that I could be for him and I want to show up the
Oh,
best way. And it was just like, and I texted him that I was like, ooh, I found a new like workaround for motivation
perfect.
at the gym. He's like, oh, that's
I
awesome. I'm gonna
love
get
it.
up and go and be the strongest husband for you now at the gym too. So it was just like, I don't know. It's
So
just one of
cute.
those things. Thank you. It was just one of those things that like I don't want this to sound bad. And like I love everything I had with my ex husband for sure. That was a chapter that we had in that life. But I didn't feel that way with him at that time, probably just because of how young I was. Like I was in my early
Yeah,
20s now, right? I'm in my later 30s and me and Grant have been together for 7 years. This is a very big difference than in my early 20s being with Steve or
for
mid
sure.
20s by the time we got engaged, right? So just different people. So it just everything feels more this round, if that makes sense. Like,
Like they say though, like what the title of husband and wife, either whether it's good or bad, it changes.
yeah,
It's the connotation. It's a very different feeling. It's a,
yeah.
like you said,
I hate
like
the
it's
word
a whole new.
fiance, but yeah. I think it's the weirdest word. It's like, oh, you're my
I knew.
future husband
I
sounds better.
remember when we were like in our 20s and the girls love saying, "Oh, my fiance."
Oh, I
Oh, it's
hate
my
it.
fiance.
I know. Oh, I hate it so much. I don't know why. I don't know. I was the same thing with Steve. I was like, I'm just not saying that word.
It's my
Um,
fiance.
yeah, and it's like it's cool. I'm like, okay, glad grad got the next level if that's what you want to go because, like you said, like it doesn't necessarily change things unless that is what you want as a couple, right? Like if that's something that you've
Yeah,
agreed upon that you want for the future, then it is saying like this is then ensuring that's the next step, right? So now our focus is like, okay, we got a budget for a wedding, and if we're gonna adopt, that's gonna cost like 10 to 25,000. Then we got okay, so we probably got to get to work. So I feel like that's probably why this
yeah.
2024 January there was a lot more motivation for me to go to work because it's like without that I'm not going to be able to get
I
our
got
wedding and
shit
our
to pay
baby.
for.
Like I got some shit to pay for and the Jag cost me some money. So,
Ugh, like, don't they always fucking
fuck.
vehicles? Like,
Yeah, right before Christmas, kicking the dick.
Yeah.
But anyways, that yeah. So yeah, my Christmas vacation was obviously great. I don't know if we talked about it on the last episode. I'm not sure if I did or not. But yes, me and Grant got engaged. It was my final Christmas present. He was like, "Oh, you have one more," and I was like, "You're ridiculous. What the fuck are you doing?" And I kind of gave him shit. He's like, "Well, you want me to take it back?" And I was like, "Well, no, that's stupid. Don't take
No,
it back, but like, tell me next time so I could spend as much." Anyways, and then it was
I
the ring.
love
So
it.
I was just shocked. I still, even when I opened it, I was just like, "Oh, did he get me a necklace? Like I really wanted a necklace. How did he know that?" Like just did not even, I don't
Not
know
registered
why. Just
at
because
all.
we've been together for 7 years, right? So like not to be that way, but it's like there's a point where you stop thinking certain moments would be the moment, because then it's you're setting yourself up for like this false
It's
disappointment
funny you
because it's
say
on
that.
them, right? Like yeah.
So Nick out of nowhere like planned a date night last night on Friday. And he like called my stepmom, got babysitter set up and everything. He's like, we're gonna go for dinner and go bowling or figure something out. I was like, okay. And that's the first thing in my head. I'm like, am I like past the point of like, what if he wants to like, no, don't do that. That's not
Right?
that. That's
But
not
you
that.
do
Well,
do that, right? And so
and
like
obviously it wasn't, but at the same point, it's one of those innate things. It's like he like this was so out of, and I even
out
asked him
of
like, what
character.
prompted this, and he just said he's like, it had been a while, and I figured why not, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
that's fair, but yeah, in my
yeah.
head, the first thing I was like, no,
Right?
no, there's no way.
And so it was funny too because like the night before we're skyping his parents and his mom was really adamant if we opened the gift that she had got us,
All
and we're
the
like,
good. Have
no.
you opened the gift?
Yeah, and so but in my mind I was like, okay, well maybe, because she's very adamant about her gift, and he said, well, we're gonna open it tomorrow, and I was like, okay, so maybe the ring was in, like in my mind I was like, maybe there's a ring in there, and that's why she's like, did you open it? Like knowing, because she asked us that it was going to be a gift card, I was
I
like, why
love
is
that.
she, why? And then I was like, don't do that to yourself, girl. Like it's been 7 years, you've done that a few times, like we went to Vegas, and like, not to be that I'm disappointed, but it is something when you want that step from that person, you do that, and then you create this like upset, and then other people get engaged and you're like, you're not
I
trying to
just love that he
be, but
saved
you
it for the
are.
big day. Your
Yeah, and
favorite day.
favorite day of the year. And so yeah, that was just super funny. How I was just like, because I was like, don't do
It's
that
that
to yourself. Like
star
don't,
on top of the Christmas tree, right?
yeah. And I was like, don't ruin Christmas for yourself by being disappointed that that's, and it was just funny that that was the time that it did
I
happen. And the
love
whole
it.
time it was like hidden in the tree. I had no idea. Like I'm not a snooper though either. Like I like
No,
surprises at Christmas personally. I don't like ruining it. I like the magic of Christmas, so I'll wait till
it's like
Christmas Day.
I saw a meme that this girl had this ornament that her mom got her like when she was a teenager on her tree forever. It was from Victoria's Secret, and one of
I
her
love that.
cats or someone knocked it off the tree this year and it broke in two, and there was a thong hidden inside that she didn't realize. So she had this like ornament on the tree forever, not realizing that inside.
Oh my
Like,
god, that's so funny. Yeah, it's from that's too
but like,
good.
how
Well,
often do you assume like something in the tree is going to open up and there's going to be something in
yeah,
there, right?
no
So
doubt.
yeah, I would have
Yeah.
been the same thing. Like, there's snooping and there's being like completely weird and paranoid. Like, does this open? Is there a ring
Yes.
in there? Like, who's
Yes,
going to
yeah.
assume that?
No, no. And then yeah, and I did, and again, even when I like looked at it, I was like, "Oh, it's like a necklace." Like I really honestly, he got me. He got me good.
Clued,
I didn't.
clued right
So,
out.
yeah, and he said the same, "Sorry, it's on this day." And I know, and I was like, he's like, "But it's your favorite day in the entire year." And I was like, "But it absolutely is though. Like it makes sense." And he's like,
What's thoughtful, right?
super risky, because if you said no, then I would have ruined Christmas for both of us. I was like, yeah, that is
Christmas would not have been the same.
Christmas would have not been the same, and I don't know how he's going to top it for next year. But I'm thinking like a unicorn or a boat, one of the two,
Yeah, a
something like
unicorn
that.
I think might do
Yeah,
it,
right. So I'm interested to see what next
or like a
Christmas
winning
has.
lottery ticket
Yeah,
or something
something.
thin.
Yeah, it's a whole trip around the world or something. So
Right.
yeah. So it was a
Good luck,
very,
Grant.
yeah, very, yeah, very, very motivating. No, motivating
No words. No
2024.
more words.
Motorboating. It's very motorboating
Motiv-
2024. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this year. I 2023, I think, was a great year. Like I don't have too many complaints for 2023. I feel like it was a very like foundational, like clarity year of trying to like figure out
Yeah,
what,
a
podcast
lot of
personally,
learning.
a lot of learning, a lot of finding our ways and coming to a new spot. So
Hmm.
new spot in the season. What hails.
Mm. Well,
Wah,
I
wah.
hate
Just
it's
kidding.
yours. I know it's like such a shitty thing to say because I don't want it to. It's not like we were saying. It's not like a permanent door shut. But
No.
I will be taking a step back this season. I will not be one of the main hosts. Brandy will be taking over. Life just kind of got a little crazy on me. Evie's bedtime is later. There's just a lot going on. So I will be stepping back a smidge. I'll still be here. Brandy needs help. Brandy needs anything. I'll jump on. She knows that. But yeah, it was kind of a, like I said, 2023 wasn't terrible. It was just a very learning, like realization of a year that yeah, shit is very much changing, and with a growing toddler, my everydays are so different and so evolving pretty quickly, a lot quicker than I thought they would. So yeah,
Mm.
bedtime is now 8:30, and I'm an old bitch grandma who does not do well with late nights, so
Oh,
recording late night, I'm just a, that's just it was one of the factors. But yeah,
mm.
it's not my favorite piece of news to reveal to the world,
No.
but she is what she is, and who knows, season 9 and 10, 8, 7, you'll see me still. But for now, yeah, just a little bit of a step back. And yeah,
Yeah, well,
brandy
it's a fun.
brandy is a fucking powerhouse champion anyways, so you guys will never miss anything, and she won't skip a beat because she is
Ugh.
just a badass.
We'll
But
try. We'll try. And I'll still say we because that has been one of the things that like I struggled with so far, not saying I. And then I finally got in the topic of like habit of we, and now I got to go back to I.
yeah,
But it was kind of like interesting. Today I was watching. I just sometimes fall. We're the same way. We just randomly watch YouTube shit when it comes to like YouTube drama. And today I
yeah,
was watching an episode about it was Spill Sesh, and she was talking about David Dobrik and Jeff and like the vlog squad. And I'm not
yeah.
really into like the groups that these drama people talk about. Like I don't actually really know who they are. I just like listening to the drama.
I only know certain people, but
Right?
yeah,
Yeah. So it was just like that. And it was just saying how everyone on like say the vlog squad, like you know who David Dobrik is, right?
yeah, I know
Like
who he
you know who
is.
he
Yeah,
is, right? So he used to like he was the bigger one out of that whole entire group. And
even watching his stories, there's a bunch of similar people, and they all, so I kind of like know faces more so than names. But yeah,
yeah, but
David, I know.
it was just saying like he is like super rich. He's like in a really good spot, but like everybody else isn't like making that kind of money. And so I guess one of the guys had an opportunity to make money with him with a podcast, and he said, "No, I don't want to. It's like not something I want to do." And he doesn't have to worry about money. And the other guy's like, "Well,
Yeah,
10 million is like a lot of money."
yeah,
And
I could use that.
I could use that money, and he's just like, well, I'm not in the same space, right? But anyway, so uh, they were saying is just like, why don't these people just go out on their own? And like, I fully understand that. This is where
Oh,
it's coming back to this, where it's like, you know, and talking to Dusty in the last episode about the same situation of just like, you know, understanding that every single co-host that has come on the show, their life has expanded exponentially in such good
mhm.
ways since they've been on the show. You know, it's never been like someone's leaving because we're having beef
Bad blood
or
or
bad
anything.
blood or they didn't love podcasting or didn't like love what we were doing or our message or that we weren't aligned. We're all still extremely aligned to the same thing. It's just coming
Yeah.
down to priorities and times and chapters in life. And for me, I've always been terrified to do this on my own. Like and so that was the point. It just kind of hit me today where it was just like, why why are you so afraid to do it on your own? Dusty's like, but people come to listen to you, we're just here to help you. And I'm like, I just feel the opposite. I feel like I'm just hosting and you know everyone's coming for everyone else, so there's that imposter syndrome. And it's just, you know, I cried when you told me, of course, because you know I love
I
doing
cried
this with you
telling you, are
guys.
you
I
kidding?
know, I know, and it's not fun and I don't want to cry again because it is a good time, but at the same
Hovering
time
over that send button, I was like, oh my god.
I know it feels like a breakup, but it's not. And I had to remind myself of that. It's just again like a
Yeah.
redirection because life is busy, and you know this is a passion and energy project. And at some point when you have other things, like the energy becomes draining because
Hmm.
then you're not, like you said, giving it your 100%, able to do everything that you want to. And you felt like you were disappointing me or like, you know, and I
Yeah.
know all the other girls and, you know, Dusty too. And that's not it. And I'm like, well, I don't want this weird relationship where you guys think that you're disappointing me because that was fucking not it at all. I started this to connect to people and look at
Hmm.
the relationships we've built because of it. Not just me, but us all together, right? That'll never go away.
I think that's the beauty of like our friendship out of this though, is like, I don't know. I feel like we're very like I feel very comfortable being very honest with you. And like I just, it's one of those things that we've always said to each other, is just like, don't let the fear of like screwing anything up or
Mm-hmm.
like what you think is ruining a friendship, or like just you got to be honest, right? And
Yes.
like I think that's also the beauty of life is like
Mhm.
everyone, we're constantly doing this. So sometimes
Yeah.
it works out and then
Sometimes
sometimes
it
it's kind of like
doesn't.
shit. Like I said, maybe this season is like kind of like whatever, and then once she gets older, it's easier to pick back up in season
Yeah.
7 and 8, or like
Totally.
it's just very much like an ebb and flow. But that was like the reason I did say it was because yeah, like I just remember you always saying like don't ever feel uncomfortable. Like I just want you to be honest and say it. Like I'd rather
Hmm.
you say it and know it
Hmm.
than it just be that weird animosity and build
Hmm.
up and be like awkward. Cause like that
Yes.
was the last thing I wanted to do was like, dude, we talk every day. We all
I know.
still talk every day.
Yes.
And just to like lose something that we worked like so long, and it just works so naturally, like we clicked so naturally, but like something that we've like put energy and like effort
Yes.
into, to just
Totally.
have it like fall apart because like of something so silly was
Hmm.
just not an option for me,
No,
like not even
no.
close to an option.
No, and I've always told the girls from day one, like friendship comes over this podcast. That's the
Hmm.
podcast brought us together. That's what
Hmm.
started the friendship. That's because the drive that we had, the feelings that we had, the honesty
Yeah.
that we had, and we've had to work. We've all had to work together as friends to work through hard things, because there's so much that comes up and so many people that, we all have different lives, but we've always been
Hmm.
on, and that's the same thing. Like I would rather someone quit this show and be like, this is stressing me out, because in my mind, if we don't do that, then you're going to resent me eventually. You know what I mean? And
That's
not like,
yeah.
not on purpose, not like consciously, but
No, it just
subconsciously it
naturally what
will.
kind of
Exactly.
happens, and that's why like I didn't want any like anything, yeah, to come
Yeah,
between anything
totally.
awkward.
Yeah,
And there's honestly, I hate to say it, but that saying of honesty is the best policy is
it
kind of a
is.
fact. Like
It
it
is.
just
And then when you feel
there's
safe to do it, and then you do it with someone, and then you do it with someone, you you do it,
mm,
and then you're like, oh my
mm,
gosh, it actually they accepted it, and we had this beautiful conversation, and like I had to take a
mhm.
minute because I was like, oof, okay, because immediately there's all of these things in my brain that are coming forward, like
Well, it's
she's
like
leaving you, it's what you're doing, you're a terrible leader, like, and we talked through that, and
yeah,
I was like, I just need a minute to digest because I didn't want to immediately react my
yeah.
emotional projection because that wasn't for you, that
Mhm.
and like as I'm aging, I'm able to filter that more and be like, I don't want you to feel like shit because you shouldn't. I love you,
Be
you're
a little
valid
more
for everything.
self-aware of your
Yeah,
reaction too. And that was
totally.
kind of well, and it's hard to like I don't know. It's hard to express even explain yourself even in person, like
Mhm.
how it like because I had the same thing. I didn't want you to think that it was anything to do with that. It was
Mhm.
just more so it was a lot of me and like how I was feeling like
Mhm.
inadequate and not like up like I just felt like you said like disappointing and like it was just a lot. So it was hard to get that across without it coming off like yeah, like I'm fucking done with this. I don't want
Yeah.
nothing to do like because
Yeah.
it was never like that
No,
obviously.
but that's what it
Never.
feels like, but it's not like that.
Yeah.
Like it's I know what you're saying. It's like because I've always thought about that too. Like, oh, if I just say I'm done, then any stress that I have to do with this is gone. It's done. And I had to sit there in that moment and be like, okay, dude, this is it. Like you got no
Yeah.
one there to rally with you, so it's either you rally alone or this is done. And then I had to sit there and be like, do we cap it at 6 seasons? Like when do you
Well,
cap it? What do you
it's also
define
that
as
like
success?
trying to like I don't know, us girls are always big on like boundaries and it has
Mhm.
nothing really to do with boundaries, but it's always like trying to like be true to yourself and honor yourself.
Totally.
But doing that also comes with yeah, disappointing people and hurting people's
Yes.
feelings sometimes. And that's like
100%.
I was trying so hard to like do one without the other. Like I didn't
Yes.
want that other part.
Yes.
So yeah, like trying to like balance that with knowing that you're gonna immediately like, fuck, this is all on me now. Like
Yes.
fuck.
Yes. And see,
Fuck.
and then it's like, I don't want you guys to feel that way, so that I would like take even more on, like when one of you
Well,
guys
and
are
I
stressed,
didn't
I'm like,
want
I'll do all of it.
yeah.
I'll do all of it. Don't
But
leave
then
me.
knowing how much it is too, like that's why I was like, fuck, like I just yeah,
Yeah.
it
Just
was
needs a
very much a mixed
redirection.
bag.
Of
But
course.
I was honestly really happy on how we mitigated and just like talked it out and like
Yeah.
had our moment and then pretty much resumed every like our normal everyday conversation. Like, yeah, hey man, look at this crazy meme, or hey,
Yeah.
look at this. This is funny. Let's
Yes.
laugh.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it
because
was
it's
really nice.
life,
I was
right?
really grateful, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's life, and that's the whole thing when you stop taking the personal out of shit sometimes, like, and that's
Yeah.
why I had to sit back. I was like, I know Haley, and I'm like, I know in my heart this has nothing to do with me, But
No,
every past experience and things that I know in my insecurity is going to tell me that it is, and it's going to
it's
project
hard.
that
Yeah,
onto her. So I'm like, I have to dial that back. At the same time, I also want to take this moment to correct this story in my head by having an honest talk with you, by being like,
yeah,
this is why I feel this way. Am I a terrible leader? And then you came back and you're like, let's squash that. That's not it.
yeah,
And I was like, well, that's what I thought, but my head is telling me this. So we work through those uncomfortable conversations
yeah,
together, and then we're able to solidify that we can do this. And then the next time something comes up, it's easier and easier. And I think if we all do that in all different ways in our lives with
yeah.
everybody, hard quote unquote conversations wouldn't be hard. It would just be life, because that's what it is. It's not that you, Kayla, Danielle, Dusty fucking hate me. That is, in my opinion, the opposite. You
No,
guys love
it's the
me. That's why
opposite.
you came to this show. And so, but my insecurities and the, that stupid mentality is always going to be in my
Yeah,
head, and you have to recorrect that. And sometimes we can't. We just project, and then we start fights for no reason, right? So it's like, why
no,
am
and
I
I
going
feel
to
like
fight with her? Like, she's every right to be like, hey, I'm a busy mom. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, this sucks, because then I have to now face my fears and uncomfortable by
yeah,
myself, kind of. But that's okay. That's gonna, I want
you
to
and
go
I
to the
are
next
similar in
level,
that way
right?
though.
Yeah.
You and I have a lot of similar, like,
So many.
I'll say insecurities for lack of better words, but
Yeah.
like a lot of like the same way of thinking, like taking things personally, and like
Mhm.
we've talked about that before, of like giving more than people give you back and shit.
Yes.
So like it's just, I could almost like,
Know what I was gonna say
I
in my
didn't,
head.
kind of, but not really. Like I was kind of anticipating like how it would go, and I was really nervous. But like you said, like you and I are both oddly self-aware to the fact that I knew that it would come out a little bit, but we would also like kind of recorrect and like read like, okay,
Yeah.
hold on a second,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
hold on,
It wasn't
like
a,
this
like a
is not,
break. It wasn't a
yeah,
walk away situation. It was like, okay, it might
yeah,
get weird for a minute. Well, we just take a
but
minute,
we
but
got this.
yeah, and
So
that's what it is. It's like, and I'll do this in my fights with Grant too. Like, listen, I'm a fight or flight survivor person, and I will say
yeah,
things that I absolutely do not mean if I feel like I'm losing, and I've corrected that. But when we first started dating, I would say mean shit. Like, I would try to push people away because everyone leaves. So I'm going
yeah,
to push you as hard as I fucking can to see how much you're actually going to stick around.
like are
And I
you gonna
told him
stick?
that. And I told him that. I was like, so be aware and please let me know when I do that, because it's gonna come out of nowhere. You're gonna be like, what are you doing? It's like, because, well, every man has left me. Any family member that's a man, any friend, any
Yeah,
ex-spouse. So I'm just assuming you're gonna leave. So I'm gonna push every fucking button because I want you to validate that I'm a piece of shit, because that's what I tell myself. So that's why I think a lot of women stick with low level peoples, because it validates their inner story that they are a piece of shit and
yeah,
that's what they deserve. Not saying at all that Grant is that person, but I was saying I'm trying to push him to see or search out that red flag and be like, oh yeah, I
yeah.
attracted another one just like my father, turns out no. Yay, finally.
It's nice
But
when
you
he
know what I
proves you
mean?
wrong, you know? But you're
Exactly.
waiting for someone to, yeah, prove you wrong and give you like fight for you back, you know, and
Exactly.
like,
And with friendships too. And you guys have
yeah,
done that, right? For
make it
me.
aware that like, yeah, it's nothing to do, like that's the thing too, is like having someone, no matter it's if it's a partner or a friendship, to like just reassure you that like you are worthy and you are
Mm,
worth it, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, I that was definitely my number one priority, of making sure you knew it. It was like it is literally nothing to do with you. There's
Thank you.
zero negative 10 things to do with you. Like,
I've worked
but
through
it was
it.
definitely
I've
so
worked through it.
my least, yeah, I told Nick I would quit my last job. Quitting that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, and I'd rather quit that 10 times over than do what I had to do with you once. It was
Fine.
rough.
We
So
redirect. We redirect. And
yeah,
like we said, it's for, and I've always told the girls, and you guys know that, like, Kayla, Danielle, all of them, like, we're going through different chapters. This is, I
mhm.
hope that this was a gift for each and every one of you for the time that you needed, and it did something for you. It changed your life. Maybe it inspired you
Honestly,
to
it did.
be a better, I don't know, person. I don't know. I don't want to say you guys aren't
I
great.
feel like
I'm not, you know what I'm trying to say.
it came at the right time too, because
Yeah.
everything we were going through the past 3 years, like it was very much a conduit and like a channel for me to kind of like wrap our heads around the reality that we live in, and like things that we're like just kind of figuring out and discovering. And it was nice to have people to like the soundboard to like, am
Yeah.
I crazy, like
What the
am
fuck
I
with?
seeing this wrong, like what the fuck is going on, like
Yeah.
I can't be the only one that feels that way. So I feel like that honestly was like it did. It was one of those things that it came right at the right time and it did what it had to do, and it was definitely like most people that I've told, like, yeah, I'm stepping back. Oh,
I know.
no. I'm like,
I
I know.
know. I know. I know. That's why I'm
So
like, please still watch the show if Haley's gone.
oh, for
Like,
sure. And
I'm
like
just
honestly,
kidding.
like since like because it's been kind of not a secret, but like we haven't
Ugh,
really
been
said
driving me nuts for
the episodes
weeks.
that you've done since, like it's just really like solidified. Like I know in my head, like it is a lot of work, and you know that as well as like more than I do. But it is you do it so well, B. Like it is
Thank you.
there. Like this is literally something, in my opinion, that you are meant to do, whether it be just a hobby or whether you completely boom and take off and make like fucking a career out of it and make money and everything, which I hope you do.
Thank
This is
you.
something that you are just so like you're just so fit for it. You
I
ask
tell Grandma.
intelligent questions. You have such a big heart and you care about the people that don't necessarily think they have a voice to
Oh,
like
you make me cry.
you know what I mean? Like all
Yeah. Thank you.
like all the like
No.
explant stories and like people
Yes.
that are just like that feel like they have something to say and like they want their voice to be heard. You are such a good like vehicle for that. So like I
Thank you.
am just
Didn't
yeah,
expect
I
to
have
cry.
no doubt in my mind
Thank you.
that like you will continue this and completely succeed to season 10, and I will be there to
Yeah.
help you every step of the way when you need it. But
Thank you.
I
It's pressure, dude. I get it. Like you don't have to.
it's
And that's what I said. I was like,
it,
it's and to think that you would I think the only thing that bothered me was that you thought you had such a small impact and was
uh
like, oh, I only
I
do
did,
this
well, like
much. And
I
I'm
always said
like,
like I did like 10% versus your 90. Like
and
what did
like
I do?
but
Like
even that, like, even when we started with Kayla, she felt the same way. I was like, I just need a person to be like, I got your fucking back, no matter. And now
you
I
got
know that,
this. Yeah.
right? Like now I know that because you guys are there whether you're on screen with me or not. So I know I had that. But when I
Exactly.
first started, that's what I needed. I was like, Kayla, I don't need you to know how to do the tech shit. I don't need you to do this. Like this shit drives me. Again, I don't have a kid. This is my passion project. This is my baby. So I'm fine doing
Yeah.
all of the other. I just need someone to talk to or someone to like when I'm having a moment of like, what am I doing to remind me, like, keep going, like the things that you guys do
Needs
on a
to
daily basis, right?
be the concrete to your foundation type thing of like
Exactly.
you got this. Like
And like
this
Kayla would have
you're
beat the shit out
solid.
of anybody that came after me. Like, our girl is a fucking
Yeah.
the beauteous, like a savage in the most beautiful way in the sense that she will fight for, all of us and like especially me.
Oh
Like
yeah.
and having that, I was like, okay, I'm not afraid. Like I'm not afraid of council culture, anybody, because I've got this crew behind me. And you guys are still there. That's the thing I don't have to worry
Fuck
about now.
yes.
Right. So, but it's always gonna be imposter syndrome. That's why I try to be very honest about it, right? Like it's always like if you
I
grew up
feel
in
like
a sorry,
it
go.
comes with the territory too
Yeah.
of being so out there and being like such a like visible person comes with the vulnerability of like
Mhm.
is anyone listening? Does anyone actually give a
Give a
shit?
shit.
Like
Yes.
and
And you have your
watching
lulls.
some of yeah, and
And
some
you're
of the
like,
episodes like
oh
people
no.
message you and it's like, dude, this was so good. Like you changed my perspective on this, or
Mhm.
like I thought I was alone in this feeling, and like
Mhm.
hearing you say it, like some of that shit is when you get those like, okay, fuck,
Yes. They're
maybe
my fave.
maybe this is something, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And going back to what you said, so like obviously I have to have some time to like fully like kind of like quote unquote rebrand, not really because it'll be the same, but it'll be a little bit different
Yeah.
because I want to go back to like I loved this whole progression of the whole show and where it is. And I think I've had a lot of clarity this last month and I obviously need to dial that in a little bit more. But at the end of the day, what I really, really, really want to focus on is advocacy. Um, I agree with you in the sense where it's like that is my favorite thing to do. I
Mhm.
love to give someone a voice
So good.
and listen to what they have to say. And actually, one of my girlfriends, Bree, the other day actually made a really good point. And she was just like, "Well, I just think not." This was her good point. She just said, "You're super smart." And I like it. Kind of stopped me for a second because in my life, I've always told myself I'm not because I'm not quote unquote educated. And I look
Book
at
smart.
book smart, right? And so I like stopped, and she's actually my masseuse, so as well as my she's one of my best friends too. And I was like, dude, thank you. Like I just don't see it. And she was like, but think about every person that comes on your show that you talk to, like you're learning something every
Mhm.
single time. And like it just really didn't it dawned on me in like the connection part, but like just the fact that I get to also grow as an individual by learning someone else's experience. And I just feel like that makes me
Yeah.
more of an empathetic person, which then makes me attuned to the people. So I think what I really want to focus on in the next season, and we'll see where things go from here. I like that I've been
Yeah.
able to change seasons. I like that we started with talking about experiences because we were afraid of our political opinions and sharing them online at the time, and we got like we captivated people by like our experiences, and our advocacy started, and then we started talking about like taboo things, and then we got into
Pull
like,
into taboo
yeah,
and
and then we like
political.
went right into like all of it, and like head first into the rabbit holes and conspiracies and
Face first. I love
politicals,
it.
right? Like face fucking first, and corruption.
I
And
love
we
it.
went in, and I wanted to go into the research end, because at that time people are like, fucking receipts, receipts, receipts. Anything you said had to come with receipts. So
Mhm.
I'm like, well, fuck, we better have a show where we come with
You want
receipts.
receipts? We'll give you
You
fucking
want fucking
receipts.
receipts? You don't think we could do it? We'll do it. And we did it. And we knocked that out of the park. And we touched on so many different topics that I think at
Mhm.
this point, I feel so well rounded that I went from like
Yeah,
not knowing a goddamn thing about politics or the world or anything, to everything is going to kill me and is against me and every conspiracy is true, to finding now that balance and very
the
much
discernment.
craving connection. And I want to start bridging these extreme groups together. I want
Yeah.
to show people how to talk to each other. I want to teach people how to agree to disagree, have discourse with people that maybe aren't your people, and just really bringing compassion back, and
Human
advocacy.
connection for sure.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so I feel like it's like a full circle moment where it's like I was I've always wanted to just do what felt good for us. That's why we've always sat down. What are we
Mhm.
going to talk about? What are we interested in right now? And now it's like I've got some clarity on what I want my website to be, what I want my purpose here to be, and it is to educate people through others' experiences. Not because it's in a book, because the people experienced it.
I
And
feel like
that's
the exciting part about, I don't know, the way I would see it would be the exciting part about it being you is, yeah, now it's what do you want?
yes.
How do you want to touch people and affect people and inform people?
Just
So
kidding.
I'm, dude, I'm beyond, like, beyond excited to see how
Yeah.
this goes, which is
It's
fun,
pushing
fucking
me.
crazy considering I'm like pulling back. Like, I want
I
to be like,
know.
like, but what's going on?
Ah,
Like,
yes,
tell
yes, yes.
me.
And that's what the fun part is that the pressure won't be if it's like, hey, bro, it's been a month and I'm itching to get on and talk about something. Like, let's get on a
Yeah.
Sunday night and talk for now. You fucking know I'm going to be on to be like, at Being Real with Hales,
Yeah.
part one. Like, that's always going to be there with every single one of you. That's, and like
Hell
you said,
yeah.
it's something that I've always wanted to do. And if I got to be a part of, if me and the show got to be a pivotal part of each of your lives and help bring you to that next chapter, and you had to look at me and say, hey, bro, I'm at my next chapter of my life and I'm fucking abundant with so many things in my life.
Yeah.
I had to look at that and be like, I'm so fucking proud and happy for you
You are a
guys.
stepping stone to
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
dude.
exactly. And so, and
Like
instead
a
of looking
massive
at,
one.
yeah, and so I used to look at when people, and I know there's other people here can relate, where people always come to you for advice, and that's all you hear. You never hear from them, and they come to you for advice. I
Yeah.
used to always think, what is wrong with me? Why won't these people
Yeah.
stick around? And then I just thought, maybe you're just supposed to be that person, and that doesn't mean that
You're
there's
that
something wrong
voice
with
for
you.
people. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're that like you're like the voice of reason. You're that like voice in the back of people's heads saying like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
Like
Don't be silly.
erase what you're thinking. This is this like you
Yeah.
yeah, that's for and the hard thing about that is like you said though, like
It's lonely sometimes.
it can be kind of lonely sometimes in the sense that like yeah, not everyone always sticks around. But
Mm-mm.
I will say come rain, shine, snow, sleet, like the fucking postal service says, bitch, you are stuck with me.
I know.
You
And
ain't
I
going
had to remind
fucking
myself, like,
nowhere.
when Kayla stepped back, she didn't leave my life. When Danielle stepped back, she didn't leave my life. Like
Yeah,
Dusty hasn't left my life. No one's left my life. Leaving this show and the passion project doesn't mean leaving me. It doesn't mean that I wasn't
yeah,
good enough to be. It means that you have such an abundant and happy life right now that you're moving on to the next step, not in a bad way. It's like right now I'm just focusing on this chapter, and hey, I'm going to come on and talk some shit because
yeah,
Trudeau did this, or Holly Weird, and we really get to talk about the Epstein list, or,
yeah.
like where it's like you got like most people don't understand the amount of work and pressure it is to show up every single week, whether you like it or
Hmm.
not, and hit
Hmm.
play
With
and talk
something.
with something and come up with something. And this is where going back to advocacy and guest episodes more and experiences, I don't have to spend time necessarily researching all the things we're going to talk about. I can spend time researching that person and asking good questions and
It's
providing,
your reaction and your
yes,
feelings towards like someone's
yeah,
story as opposed
yeah,
to us digging deep and Googling and researching
yeah,
and
because I'm
yeah.
tired of it. But I do like I'm not
Tired
tired
of
of it
it?
because I know it's just it's because there's, how do you know what's
It's a
right
lot.
sometimes, right? So it's like I'm tired of like, I'm reading some things with people that are just so
Trying,
stuck
yeah.
into that, you know what I'm trying to say, where they're just so locked into this
It's hard to like
life.
decipher what is and what isn't when you're doing research. And I
Hmm.
feel like people's opinion and like
It's
you
true.
said, like that stuff is a lot easier to like go around than, yeah, like
Mhm.
facts of like what is happening and certain
Yes.
things, like doing the Google research. It's either right or wrong, and fuck, with the internet these days,
It's
you
so
have no
hard.
fucking clue what the hell you're
Yes.
finding, if it's true, if it's false, if it's like in between. So yeah, going off of people's stories and like genuine emotion and
Hmm.
feelings and human
Hmm.
connection is going to be
That's my
like
jam.
a lot easier and a nice switch, I feel
Yes.
like,
Yes. And
for
I
yeah.
think I want to add, like, let's say if we have someone like the last episode we talked with food with Lori. I think in
Yes, it
situations
was
like
good.
that as well, having like people in with their areas of expertise and even just coming with a little bit
Mhm.
more, like having therapists back on, like Dr. Brown or like Dr.
Mhm.
John, or, like, and like I said, the BII ones. And honestly, if I look at mine, and it's not about numbers, but it's also about what's impacting people.
Dude,
And that's what I
BII is
want to
huge.
do. Right. And so
Huge.
I do want to keep the keeping up with Canada because I still want to very much be in touch with that. And I don't struggle to
Yeah.
find content because there's always something going on with Canada. There's always shit going on. Like right now,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately. And I think those are really important for myself. That's something that I just as an adult want to hold myself accountable to. And then the other episodes will be guests and their
Yeah.
experiences. And then I will be throwing in episodes. Like I do want to talk about some stuff like, um, that I watch on YouTube. As much as it's stupid stuff that doesn't matter, I've also I've also come to this point where I'm gonna get hated for this. I'm kind of tired of being told to get fully out of the matrix too. Like I'm kind of coming in this like full circle moment. It's like, why can't I have everything?
We grew up in it and it's hard to disconnect, and I'm with you on that because like so many people are so like, once you're on this side of the like fence, you have to like disconnect, move to a farm, fucking cut off everything, get rid of,
Everything.
it's like, no,
No, I
there
can't.
can be and has to be like a
A
happy
medium.
balance because we still unfortunately live in a very electronic, digital, everything world. You can't cut yourself
100%.
out. And not to mention that it's no fun. I
No,
hate to say it. YouTube and all that shit
all
is,
this.
it's a form of entertainment, which like you said, you're gonna where I'll get hated on that because it is. Like
It
I
is.
may be out of Hollywood and disconnected from a lot of that, but
Yeah.
like that doesn't mean that like you need to like completely like there need I we've come to the point where we've been on the one side for most of our life and we went to the complete opposite extreme for a bit during the
Yes.
pandemic. But now like that was Nick and I talking about specifically like our food and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's so hard to like go full fucking out of everything because literally there's seed oils and fucking everything and you
Yes.
can't deprive yourself of everything and not eat every like we were talking about like wraps, like pita wraps.
Yeah.
There's going to be vegetable and canola oil in a lot of the conventionally and like traditionally made ones. So it's like, do you like
Not
starve
eat.
yourself and have like nothing to eat, or do you every now and then, or like even going out to eat? We went to a restaurant. Like
Mhm.
you can't like there has to be a balance. Like you
Yes.
can't just like kill yourself and trying to get rid of everything that you consider bad. And the
Yes.
Matrix,
I
like
feel that's a trap
honestly,
too.
it's probably better that you have toes and fingers dipped in there so you know what the fuck is going on and you have it with clearer eyes and different
Yes.
eyes and views now. So
Yes.
I'm down for that. Like,
Right. And I don't mean that in a terrible way, but at the same time, a
no.
lot of the people I commented this, and I've been commenting a lot lately on Instagram. Listen, your girl's trying to
Mm,
push her anxiety a
love
little
it.
bit and just being, and it's not to like, and I'm not being rude about it by any sense. I'm just having general conversations.
Yeah.
And I shared this reel the other day, and it was like, forget the WF, forget the elitists, forget. And again, yes,
I liked
I
that one because
agree,
honestly, like,
the one that I shared, or
it's
like my
easier said
comment
than
against
done.
it. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
like I would love to live in a world where we just like ignore everything and just eat good food and move to a farm and forget everything. But do you realize that you're recording that content? You did that on your fucking phone that came through the internet that we all consumed on
Yeah.
our phone and you made money from. So if we
Hmm.
didn't do that,
Hmm.
you wouldn't make money. And you want us to unplug from the matrix, motherfucker? You're not going to make money if I do that. So what is it? Are you gaslighting me? Because I'm starting to feel like I'm being gaslit by
Yeah.
the freedom community too here. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm
It's
like,
been
balance.
bad.
Do you
Because
feel
like
that?
literally for a lot of them, if you're not like, how have you not bought in some acreage, and like how do you not have like, a wood burning stove, and like you have chickens and cows
You
and
drink
like
water out of a tap?
it's a lot easier said than done, considering like for Nick and I, all of our money is in our, not all of our money, that's a lie. Our house is our thing.
Yes.
We will have it paid off at a decent like time in our life and stuff, but we're not close to paying it off.
Mm.
Interest rates right now are nothing to fucking play with. There's
No.
no fucking feasible way that we could buy an acreage that we would want with a nice house on it, unless we're planning on living in some like 900 square foot dump like
In a
fucking farm.
tent.
Like there is
Yeah.
just no, you have to be realistic with yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
there's just no reasonable way
No.
to do some of the stuff that people are like expecting you to do when you're in the freedom community.
Yes.
And like I have actually slowly started unfollowing a lot of
Me
shit
too.
because it's like I don't need that pressure of like, you need this, you need to fucking do this, you need to wear the EMF necklace so you're not dying
Yes.
every time you talk on your phone, and like you need
Yes.
the healing because you're fucking dying, and like you're
Yes.
fucking dying, everyone's dying. It's like, shut up,
I know.
shut the fuck up.
Everything
I'm gonna
causes
just
cancer. Everything is
like
bad. Like every and how
just
dare you and the shaming and it's like you guys were
the
you
only thing I've held on to is my sourdough starter. Me and her are doing great right now, but like just leave me alone. I'm good. I'll make my bread and eat my bread and just fuck off.
but
Like
and it's like
no.
that whole thing was created because of the pressures of the patriarchy
Yeah.
in these systems, but you're doing the same thing and you're doing it at such a high, actually, I find a harder level because you're actually telling people to live a life that is actually not sustainable, right?
They're
Like,
trying to replace, they
it's
mean well, a lot of them
nuts.
do mean well, but it's like
100%.
that's it. They're trying to replace what's not sustainable with something that's equally not sustainable.
Yes. Yes.
You have to do it in baby steps, and you have to
Yeah.
do it with the collective, because if we just all randomly started going off,
The grid.
like yeah, that's how it works, and like I get that that's how it slowly works, but like who the fuck can afford that? I'm sorry. Like
No.
not
It's just
everyone
not
has
realistic.
hundreds of thousands or $1 million to go and dump into like a big beautiful property, and like, oh, I've got a cow and some goats and
Even
some
eating
chickens.
food, dude. Like,
Who like me?
even
Like
eating food, like to be able to eat a seed free, a seed oil free diet, you have to have very, very good money in Canada to be able to have
you
that. So
literally
what
have
a
to
fucking
be a millionaire
privilege to be able to do
and
that.
do it. Yeah.
And these and then you'll see these reels that are like, well, I did this and I started this, and that's great for you, honey. But the thing
Hmm.
is that I don't want that advice. That is not what I want to take into
Yeah.
2024. Into 2024, I want to be like, hey, you know what?
I'm doing me.
You
Whatever feels good to me.
exactly, but I also want to have understanding, like very much so. The pandemic made me feel this way because I was real mad at me and Dusty talked about this. I want to come in a place for like a forgiveness and understanding of you're doing what's best for you, and I'm not going to shame you for what you're doing. um I'm just going to talk about my opinion over here and how I feel, and you're doing you and I'm doing me. And like I used
Yeah.
to discredit, and this is going to sound terrible, I'm going to be totally real and honest here, but for a couple years, if someone told me that they were vaccinated, I was like instantly like, done with you. Not
You're done.
done with you, but like
No, in my, it was the
in my
same.
mind, I was
My
like, I
opinion
can't
would
trust
be
you.
instantly
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And I had to work through that. And like, and I've worked through that of like, if you're an MLM, immediately done. And I'm like, okay, Brandy, you cannot just exclude everyone because you're different. So I'm really trying to come to a place where you
like
might do something I don't like, but that doesn't mean I don't have to like you. And I
like
could
you
just
always
like
say,
not support
two
you and buy your
things
MLM.
two things can exist at the same time.
Mhm.
You and your opinion can exist in the same time as me and mine. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean we have to hate each other. That
No,
doesn't mean we have to love each other and be best friends either.
no.
Like
We don't
you
have to
can
be
do
fake.
you. It's very much the Bob Marley thing, and I wanted to get this tattooed on me for as long as I can remember when I was younger. It was, as long as you're not harming anyone, doing any harm to anyone, you do you. You do
Yes,
you over there and have fun with it. Don't
totally.
harm anyone, don't harm yourself, don't like, that's fine by me. But like we've just it's very much come to a very like black or white, like you are or you aren't, and I'm with
Mhm.
you. I'm so sick of the like, okay, but you call yourself a freedom fighter, but like you're eating like that has
You
like
follow Elon
vegetable
Musk?
oil on it.
Oh my god, you don't
Yeah, and like
sun your butthole in the sun? Like what?
yeah, you
Like,
don't
I'm
like expose
sorry.
your anus and vagina to the sun,
Yes.
but like
You're not doing it
what is
properly.
going on?
And
Yeah,
that's not
like
a shade to
making
anyone. These are just like the
no, but
but even like the cold bath thing, it's just like, do you even know the benefit? And I'm just like, I just want people to come at, like I said the other day, I don't know if you see my post. I
just
just
an
feel like
honest point.
so much is coming out of ego. Like if you see someone being like,
Yeah,
I know everything and this is how it is, and like I
you
will,
don't.
if you know me, you know that I know, say that I don't know anything. These are just things that I hear and think, and like I have my opinions,
It
but
makes you more skeptic than people. I know what I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Yes, and I find this is
Do
in
you
religion and spirituality, in any investing anywhere, because I've been reading about investing lately and about financial wealth because I don't know about it, so I'm trying to learn about it. Yeah.
damn,
Shout
Brandy.
out to the Headway app. It's
Ooh,
like a book app where it takes a book and it condenses the chapters for you, and I've been struggling at reading. So I wanted to go back to this. And so yeah, it's like a wealth challenge. So the first book was like
Brandy's gonna be a
Rich Dad Poor
Bitcoin
Dad.
investor here soon.
Well, there's a book on Bitcoin, but I was just reading that was just like, when you're not confident about something, you need to learn about it. And money is finances are not something I'm confident or know anything about. So as I age, I'm trying to get to know that. So
Yeah,
anyways, what I've been doing lately is, instead of focusing on arguing with people online, yes, I've had my comments, but what I've really noticed is that people are really just trying to sell you something all the time, no matter where they are. So I'm just not subscribing
ain't bad luck.
to some things that, like, if that doesn't align with someone saying, I am not being as much of a woman because XYZ, I don't care. That's your opinion. Or how can I be for freedom when I work for a corporation?
Yeah,
Well, I don't know what to tell you. That's just who I am, and that's how I feel. Like I'm not going to be put into boxes of people's like character. So I commented on this Matt Walsh post. He said, in BC, Canada, dinks
or
are known
shorty.
dinks are known
Fucking
as
Dink. That made
did you,
me die.
right? Okay, so
I was pissing myself that he did not realize that dink meant penis. I thought that, I'm like, is that an exclusive Canadian thing?
I
That's
guess,
what.
right? So most people, like, I know both. I know both. So dinks, right, in Canada, I guess across the world, people don't know. But if someone called you a dink, they're like calling you a penis, a dick. Like, it was like the nicer way of saying a dick, right?
Or a dink,
Like a
like your
dink. You're a
dickhead.
dink. You're being a dink. You're
Dink.
being a dinkhead. Like whatever. But there's also dual income, no kids. So that's like, apparently that's been out for a while. But that's, so I know this. So anyways, a girl comments and she's like, "Well, I'm from BC and I would be offended if someone called me a dink because I've never heard of dual income, no kids. Like, good for people if they don't want to have kids. Now you can." And she was kind of being like, kind of like rude about people that
Punchy
like,
about it.
yeah, we're having kids. And I was like, hey, I'm from BC and I'm going to counter you that I absolutely know what dual income, no kids is because I am one. Um,
Yeah,
Also, I don't take offense to that because I can't have a baby and I'm like, I don't choose to be infertile. Like, and so not
yeah.
every dual income, because she's like, oh, good for people that don't have kids. I'm like, listen, you're kind of being,
Thanks.
but thanks, but
Yeah,
no. Anyways, so this is where I was saying, where I've been commenting a little bit more, being like, hey, I'm from BC too, but I do know what this is. And I said, do you have kids? She said, well, of course I have kids. And I was like, well, that's probably why you don't know that, because you're not going to be
yeah.
around circles of people who say that, because you're probably going to be around parents or your children and you're not going to hear the word dink because
Dude, I
you're
was
not one.
howling,
Fuck, I was dying so hard.
howling at that post.
But
Fuck's
then
sakes.
I
When
also
he
had
said that,
I also
apparently
commented, yeah, dinks are
Canada
penises in
thinks
Canada.
things penis. Yes, yes,
Uh,
it
yes, it
does.
does, sir. Thank you, Matt Walsh, for that. That was gold. But I had also commented on that one where it said, like I said, it would be so great to be like, ignore WEF, ignore, the
Yeah,
elites and all of that. And it's like, I get it to the point where we shouldn't be where we were a couple years ago, albeit we had no choice, so glued
slightly
into these
obsessed
rabbit
and
holes
into
that,
it.
exactly, that, like, and you've guys seen it on the show, you have watched us go through that, right? Like, you've watched our quote unquote
Oh yeah,
awakening through that. At the same time, um we got locked in our house for how
with
long and
nothing to
called
do.
grandma killers with nothing to do, and because we didn't pay attention to what's going on out there, you see what I'm saying? So why can't we have, and so what I think is funny is, like, in this comments, it's like follow me to figure out how to become financially free out of the matrix. It's like, but you need the matrix. You need the matrix to post your shit. So if the people at the internet place decide that, hey, I'm
How
gonna fucking go buy
sideways.
an acreage, and they
Yeah,
go, and everybody that works at the internet decides to go and do that, how you gonna make money, homie? And people talk
that's a
about
lot of the
bartering and
thing
all
too.
that
Is like
stuff, but Like, and that
The
barter
people,
thing, that's cool, but I just mean like everyone going and living off the land, and that's not possible anymore, sweeties. It's not. Like, yes, some people can do it, but as a
how
whole,
would you
we
how would
can't
you
do
get
that.
your product out there? How do you advertise your stuff unless it's like if you think about it, back in the day, the way they advertised is they would have to post things at like corner stores that
Yep.
everyone went to.
Papers.
But not everyone goes to that. You would only
Yep.
hit people in your vicinity. So
Yes.
the way people like it's the thing. People these days want to make money online and don't want to have a job, but then they bitch and complain that yeah, like the internet. It's like, girl, you can't have it
You
both
can it.
ways. The
People need to have
internet
those
and the
jobs.
matrix, as we call it, is like it facilitates a lot of good things as well as bad. You
Yes.
cannot have the good without the bad. We've said that so
100%.
many damn times on this show.
I know.
But yeah, like the amount of people that it's like, I don't know, like it's so hard because like the freedom community preaches about all this and disconnecting. It's like, well, then get off your phone and like get off. Like, why do you have an
as you
Instagram?
post as you post a reel about getting off your phone, and I get it
Yeah,
too, and
like
yes, we should, and going on and like creating and leaving, but I would
there's
say
some
like
pages that we used to
90.
follow
Oh,
that used to make me laugh because it's like preaching about like being present and like being there for your children and like cooking all your home meals and like doing all your this and that. It's like, girl, how the fuck are you doing that while making like 18,000 reels a day?
yeah, and the stories are like this
Girl, how
big
do
because
you
it's
like
like shh.
preach all this like natural this and like
Yeah.
get off your phone and be present in life and like phones are bad for you and this is like then get the fuck off your phone and
Yes.
preach by example. Like it does
Yes.
not make sense to bitch about the thing that makes you money. Like you're
Yes.
biting the hand that feeds you hard. That makes
Yes. And
no
I feel
sense.
like it's not really aligned too, right? And like
No.
I'm just going into 2024 really trying not to be ego driven and preachy and
Yeah.
like, hey, this is what I'm learning and this is what I'm doing and this is
Mhm.
what works and this is what doesn't work, and you whatever works for you. And if you want to know, ask me. And I'm not going to come
Yeah.
at people being like, oh, like I'm really trying. I'm not going to be perfect at it, but there's just a lot of advice lately that just really hasn't hit. And like and I
Yeah.
won't go and comment, but like I don't understand why people get also like I'm trying to learn this too, but people also getting triggered. Like I've seen a lot of counter posts lately of being like, someone will say, "Oh, I'm doing this resolution," and then someone will turn around and being like, "Resolutions are stupid," and it's like, well, maybe to that person they need that,
Yeah, like
right?
if
Like, why
that's
do
what
we
they
have to?
need, the motivation to like do something. Like I have a girlfriend who
Yeah,
wanted to quit smoking this year
yeah,
and like things like that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna message you every week and ask you if you've had a cigarette and hold
yeah.
you accountable. And like if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But then there's me who posted that thing saying like, girl, winter is time for sleep, rest, and
Yes,
like fucking getting your shit together. Don't commit yourself to anything until spring. When the
totally.
renewal comes, like I'm allowed to have that opinion and
Yeah,
not make like full resolutions the start of the year
totally.
when other people like it's very much like do you,
Yes,
but
yes,
don't shit on people for doing the exact same thing like people are so quick to preach to do you like I'm gonna do me. I don't care what other people think. Okay, well then don't shit on people for what they
yes,
want to do. Like what
exactly.
is the very hypocritical of you.
Yes, and I've been on my stories the last little bit being like, "Hey, if you want to do them, great. If you don't, great." Like just that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Like I just wish the post would be like, "Hey, this is what I do because this is what brings me this at this time of year," right? Like so then like having that contrast and those different opinions so someone will look at yours and say, "You know what? You're right. January is the time that I like to nest. I like to get ready because I know my busy season
yeah,
is from April to fucking December, right?" Where it's like someone like me, it's like if I don't get myself motivated and have some sort of goals and something to
that's
focus on, the
hmm
depression of these
hmm
3 months will make them be so useless that by the time I get to the springtime, I will feel like I'm behind on things that I wanted to do because I'm just a very goal oriented person.
yeah.
Because there's goals that I have that I'm not achieving because I'm not setting myself up successfully. Like I talk about this website and all this. Well, now that I smashed my foot and I have a floating chunk in my foot,
Well,
um,
I'll say we're also geared to like January is the start of our year. Like that's just
yes,
kind of the way our
yeah,
calendar works and
and for
our
work too,
world
right? So it's
months,
like,
right? And
yeah,
like
it
our
falls
year
in.
ends are
Yeah,
December, our
yeah,
beginning of the year is January, like 2023 to 2024. Like it's very much a start and beginning
yes,
that we're so used to that, yeah, like
it does fall for some people, and some people it
it
doesn't.
does help set people up for a successful year to run off of, okay, first of the year, let's get my shit together, let's
Mhm,
get doing this. And like honestly, I don't understand that, yeah, how people are so quick to shit on others for wanting to like better themselves and like
mhm.
make a goal that they can stick to and like do something good for them. Like if anything, we should be like, fuck yeah, good for you. Like I'm so
Yes.
proud of you. Like do it. Like I just I'm very much when you posted that, I just sat there nodding. Like, why are people shitting on others?
I don't get
Period.
it.
For resolutions, for anything. Like
Yeah.
are they hurting you by making that resolution?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Nope.
Physically or emotionally, like that emotionally is on you. If you're hurt by
Yes.
that, that's a you problem. But
Yeah.
are they physically hurting you by doing that? No, they're fucking not. So leave them the fuck alone.
And like even for people that don't set them, I feel like not setting them is kind of setting one. Like you are taking like
Yeah.
your resolution for the
You
beginning of the
actively,
year is to
yeah,
actively be in those winter moments and making sure that
yeah,
you're not cuz like in a sense hear me out then in a sense where it's like your resolution is not having one, and even though it is quote unquote more the trend to do it at the new year, you're still doing
yeah,
what's best for you because that's what you
mhm.
want, because that is your goal. We just call it like, and that's the thing where people I think fight too, is they call things different things. They speak different languages, but they mean the same
But it's all
thing.
the same thing. Yeah.
Meditating, prayer, like goals, like, like ascension or like learning, like growing, like all these words are kind of synonymous
A
with each
resolution
other.
and a goal are literally the same thing.
Yes, or not even having one to me is like a
Yeah.
goal, because
Is
you are
still having a
honoring
goal,
is
not doing
honoring
it.
exactly. And so it's like, why are we getting mad? And but I think what it is just mindset. Like you said, instead of
Yeah.
looking at it being like, oh, I'm pissed off because that person isn't, because I'm not being like, wow, cool for that person. And I'm proud of myself for resting because this is what I need in my chapter.
Yeah.
And maybe that person that's setting those goals is 2 seconds away from a depressive episode because they have been doing that for 6 or 7 months and
And
they
this is
need
holding them
this, and
together.
this is holding them together. Like I try to think about that when someone like rages with me in the car, and I think of days that I've raged past people in the car. Like maybe that person's just having a bad day. Like again, we talk back full circle, the
Yeah.
personal in it, right? Someone doing something for themselves means fuck all about you, and if you take it
Yeah.
personally, that means that there's something inside that you wish you could do it, or maybe you're pissed about a past experience that you had, or maybe you know
Yeah.
someone that's doing that you don't like and they're doing it and you're just like, ugh. Like
When
anybody
you
that
get
does
triggered,
MLMs, just kidding. Not, yeah.
as soon as you get triggered, it's something that you need to look inwards of like, why
Mm,
the fuck am I feeling that way? Because obviously there's something inside you that is not clicking and that is not sitting well, that is
yeah.
not resonating. Like that's the thing too, is like when people like, yeah, the triggers of like New Year's resolution, like why are you so mad? Maybe it's because you feel like you've
You're
never
not doing
stuck to
enough.
yours.
Yep.
Therefore, you're not going to set yourself up for failure, which in itself is a goal and a resolution to not set yourself up for
Yes.
failure.
Because it doesn't feel
So, like
good,
B said, like
right?
just because in your mind you're not doing what that person is doing, you're kind of still secretly doing what that person is doing, but in your own way. You're not
Yes.
setting yourself up for failure to start now. You're going to start at a
Mm-hmm.
different, like, it just all boils down to like, let people do them and
Yeah.
believe what they want. As long as they're not hurting anyone, they're fine.
Yeah.
Like, let
That's what I mean.
them
Like,
fucking
just advice and
live.
be motivating. And that's how I just want to be. Like, obviously, I'm going to still talk shit from time to time because, like, how do you not?
We're human
We're
and
human
we're girls.
and we're women in our
That's what
30s.
we
Like, what do you
do.
expect? We're millennials. So we talk shit. No,
That
I'm just
was
kidding. But it's at the same time, it's like, I just want to be friends with everybody, even if they're like
yeah.
completely different opinions. And okay, extreme liberals, I'm sorry, we're never gonna be friends.
You're not on that list.
You're not on that list if you call
Shit
yourself,
talking comes in.
yeah, a
Sorry.
cat. I'm sorry, we're not. I like real cats. I don't want a human cat.
I
Um,
don't need you meowing at me, okay? I've
yeah,
got enough of that from my real cats.
yeah, and it's not. I think part of it too that I'm excited about is like, it's not that I'm not going to still have my political beliefs or that I'm not going to talk about those things or that I don't want to talk about controversial things like chemtrails and, you know, vaccine injuries and stuff like that. At the same time, I feel like I'm also blocking myself off from a lot of people that won't listen to the experiences because I've had those
They
kind of
think of it as
things.
the extreme, right? And
Yeah,
they label you as something just as we label the far left as far
exactly.
left,
And
you
so I
know?
want to try and get away with that, but still
A little
having
bit of a more
those.
neutral ground.
Yeah, that's where I kind of
Yeah.
want to come. And that doesn't mean that I'm still not heavily conservative and I still believe that half the
Hold a lot of
things in the
conservative
sky
beliefs,
are
but
chemtrails, because I do, and I will talk about that. But at the same time, I feel like I'm like, ooh, I want to ask this person to come on the show, but I know
yeah.
that they don't agree with, I don't know, Epstein's list or something. So maybe they don't want to come on my show and share their experience, and I'm losing that part and that connection to this group of people or different people because I have these thoughts. And it's not
Yeah.
that I don't have these thoughts still, but I'm not as held on to them as I was when I
We've
learned.
gone through the evolution,
Yeah.
yeah, of like you very much want to. The only reason we were so outspoken is because you want people. We're trying to help. We're
Yes.
trying to open eyes. We're trying to like, do you see this? Like, oh my god. To now where it's like,
I don't fucking
if you
care if
see
you
it,
see
you
it or
see it.
not.
You don't. You don't. Like, really
Yeah.
don't give a fuck.
Que
Like,
sera, sera.
whatever.
Like,
Like literally,
whatever,
what we were
man.
talking, like this whole Epstein thing has been an absolute
Yes.
ridiculous mess, and us girls see things differently than anyone else will because like as soon as
Struggle.
this list comes out, lo and behold, 6 days into fucking January, we've got aliens in Miami. Like, what the fuck? Like,
And I will
you see
eat crow.
distraction. Like,
I will
it's
eat
just
crow
so.
because I did not think that
It's
any names would come out or any court documents. Like I was like, you guys are cute because
oh.
they've been saying this like for like
I
since we
thought that
started
in
the
itself
podcast.
was a distraction. Was
Yeah.
like, what are they trying to hide from? They're going to release all this shit, but then some big names start coming out and some like transcripts, and it's like Stephen
Oh,
Hawking, like
Stephen Hawking,
what?
that was like out of left field for
That
me.
whole that sentence of like what he enjoyed, I thought to myself, I'm going to hell because like that has to be made up. That has to be a joke. He likes. I'm sorry for
Nerd.
using the M word, but the word was he likes nude midgets doing math equations on chalkboards that are too tall. That sounds like a South Park joke.
That does sound
That
like a
sounds
South
like
Park
something
show.
that is so incorrectly wrong that there's no like
That
somebody
sounds like
needs
a
it.
Cards Against sounds like a Cards Against
Yes,
Humanity card
like
instead of
the
real life
meme I sent you of
transcription.
him like rolling out of hell trying to defend himself. Like, I'm sorry, Stephen
Uh,
Hawking likes what? Like
and like
some of the information that's come on has just been like, the fuck is going on? Like Cat Williams interview. I don't know if you've seen
I've
anything about
seen
that. Like
most
some of
of
the
it,
shit
yeah.
he's saying and like there's just been we are 6 days in, people, and the fucking the
This is why she'll never actually leave the podcast
conspiracies
because it's going to
are
build up.
going.
It's been like a
Ugh,
month since you've been on a show and it's going to build up and
ugh.
she's going to message me in about a month and being like,
I will.
"Girl,
I'll be like, "Girl, I need a decompress. I need a fucking vent session. I need to talk about what is going on." It probably won't even be a month. It'll be like a week. I'll be like, "Bitch, I revoke my resignation. I'm coming back because too much is going on and I need to get this out." Because seriously, some of the shit that like it's just been
it's been kind of interesting."
like the
And just
aliens blew me away.
I
Like
know.
the fact that everyone and their dog has a fucking phone in their hand and there's not a single piece of evidence. Oh, but they confiscated everything on site. Bull fucking shit. You lies.
My favorite was
Lies in the
like
mouth. Like,
aliens are smarter than us. They'd know how to clear everybody's phone. And I'm like, um again,
bitch.
why would they go to the Miami Mall? Like, and there's so many people that live in Miami. Was like, there's no blackout, there was
I
no
was like,
cops. Like, there's this
why the
one
fuck would they go to Miami when we've got West Edmonton Mall, for Christ's sake? It's a
dude,
way better mall,
way
okay?
better
Like,
mall.
pick a better fucking location.
So I
And
said, I
like
was like, if
70
that was,
10-foot creatures, and you're
yeah,
not gonna like that's not gonna be everywhere. Like
yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna be live tweeting that. Where the
yeah,
fuck was that? Like
I'm not buying
it's
it.
just there's so much that is just and all the pages blowing up like, have you seen this? There's like, have you seen this? No, because the media is not it's like, girl,
And
bye.
that's the part of the freedom part that I'm like, I'm kind of done with that because it's like,
I'm over
and
it.
that's where I did agree with that reel of like, stop searching for everything. Like, and this is where it's like balance. And I think this is where it comes to, it's like my personal opinion at this moment in time is that you are here and you're here to learn the lessons and use things as you need
Yeah.
to positively and move through that and not let that disrupt your inner peace. That doesn't mean you need to
Yeah.
buy a property off the grid. Like that would be in a perfect world, yes, but we are not living in
Yeah.
that world anymore. And you can't get rid of all this stuff and use it and say like it's not realistic. And so that's where
I'm
I'm
very
at now.
much
It's like I'm done feeling
and
not good
I'm
enough.
at the point of like, I don't mind and I'm okay being aware of what's being said.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't let it like run my life and dominate my everything. And I'm
Not
not going to go
anymore.
stockpile food and buy all the toilet paper and batteries that I need to like withstand the alien invasion that's about to happen.
Yeah, no.
Project Bluebeam, go watch our
Ex-
episode on that. Like
exactly.
things like that, you know, like I'm not
Yes.
going to let it determine how I live. I'm
And
just
how
going
I
to,
feel.
that's cute. Keep an eye on it. keep a finger on it, and just like go about my fucking day.
Yes, because if you talk about vibrant, and that's where I don't understand where the spirituality part too. It's like, well, why are you guys still talking about all this if you're
You're
supposed to be
feeding into
rising
it.
above it? You're feeding into it, so I'm just not feeding
Yeah.
into it anymore, and I'm gonna know when it's
Joe
there.
would say that.
And
You're feeding into the shitty energy and you're gonna just
yes,
keep fucking giving it all the energy. Don't give it. Don't
no,
give it. You don't,
no,
it doesn't need it.
because you
And
could
the
do so
pages
much
that are
more.
promoting that, the reason they're doing it is because it is excellent clickbait, because it
Yes,
is extreme, because it is everyone's like, oh my God, aliens. Like,
Of course, something
girl,
massive's gonna happen.
yeah,
Like they
like,
just get you fear, and we've talked about this a million times. They just get that fear, that clickbait, that gets you
mhm,
in, and all that, and
they
distractions.
hook
Like
you.
how many variants of COVID did we have through the original, like Ghislaine fucking prison thing? Like I just. It's good to know. It's good to use these tools as you need. I think what everyone should just
Yeah,
focus on is their vibration. And for me, it's like, okay, this new year I'm learning, like I said, about finances, about wealth.
yeah.
How does this work? How does taxes work? I bitch about I
The
got selected
better
for
you
jury duty selection, so I might be seeing how the court systems look, y'all. Like I
yeah.
I
What a
bought
learning
this.
opportunity.
Yes, you know that found consciousness page on Instagram.
Yeah.
They had 150 ebooks and courses for sale. I think it was like $50 American. So I bought that, and it has like I think it's like 90 different ebooks on like homeopathy, herbal medicines,
Right?
all this kind of stuff. And so like to me, that is my focus for 2024 is educating myself and sharing these resources and empowering other people to start educating themselves and spending more
Yes.
time learning about how you can enhance your life. Have your entertainment. Absolutely. I love my drama channels. I love my YouTube channels. I love that shit.
But
But
yeah,
I
work
rather
on
spend
you.
yeah,
Do
in
things
the
that you're
mornings,
passionate about.
yeah, in the mornings I usually rant and I usually say stuff. And lately, that 15 minutes I'm on my bike now, I'm reading the Cole's notes of a financial wealth book
Nice.
because it feels better for me to do that. And I'll still do my other one from time to time, but because I have my goal list and I'm trying to stay on track to the things that I want, I know that putting that little emoji to me means
40.
more than
Yeah.
scrolling on social
Yeah.
media. And then what I learned is like now I have different mindsets with money already. I'm already
Yeah.
moving different ways when it comes to finances and thinking different just from changing one tiny habit in the morning, right? So I don't
See, and
know. I'm
that's
really
nice though.
excited
It's
for the
good for
year.
you.
Yeah, I'm
I
excited
am
for
too. I'm
2024.
stoked. But speaking of reading, I've been reading like a son of a bitch, man. I've
Yeah,
been reading books like
love
crazy. And
that.
it's not like learning books. I'm full
No,
into the fiction and it's
yes,
been great.
yes, no. And
Fuck TV.
I did that a lot when I was little. Right now, I feel very like one of the books, it was like if you're
You're called
insecure
to
about something, read about
called
it.
to read the learning. I don't mind reading information books, but it's usually like to learn something specific. Like I've got
Yes.
my homeopathy books that I
Yeah.
like to like dip into, and like with my like sinuses and stuff and congestion, I've been kind of like leaning into that a bit and like figuring stuff out. But like
Yeah.
I'm trying to find sources of entertainment outside of TV and
Yeah.
like
And
all of our
social
like
media.
18,000 streaming platforms that we have
Yes.
and social media
I
and
think
stuff.
you'd like
So
this Headway
that's
app
been fun.
because it would probably be because it's like 15 minutes and it just summarizes the chapter for you and pulls out the main points of it.
I
So
would like that.
if it's I'll send you a snippet of it so you
It
can
pulls out the
see.
meat and potatoes as opposed to having
Yes.
to read like the broccoli.
Of
Who
something
likes
that
broccoli?
and like to read a financial book, like I wouldn't really know where
Yeah,
to go look, but it's a 28-day
yeah,
challenge and every day it has a different one. And then if you want to go
pretty
buy
cool.
that book, then you can go buy that book and learn more. But even just the
That's
tidbits
pretty
from
sweet.
it.
I like that.
Yeah. And so but then there's
Send
one
it
of
to me.
like
It's a headway,
success.
you said?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's an app. So it was $30 for 3 months. And
That's
there's
not
a bunch
bad.
of other books too. And it's like how to be a leader, how to be successful, morning routines, how to like all these different things. And so like if you're someone struggling with reading or finding the time or want to like replace
It's
scrolling,
investing in yourself, right?
yeah, like there's like John Maxwell, which I absolutely love reading his stuff.
Yeah.
There was summaries of his book. So when I go and smoke a joint, instead of scrolling on social media the one time, I grabbed a book and I ended up like reading because I'm trying to
Smart.
get back to reading with that. And I was like, whoa, I just took that 15 minutes off social media and I read a book and I took these three tidbits away and now I feel better. And I felt like so good after that 15 minutes of just that. I was like, that is such a good start. Like you just have
Good
to
for
do
you.
little things and you have to start. So 2024, guys, we're going to come at things differently, not just in the show, in our lives. This doesn't mean goodbye to Haley, doesn't mean goodbye to the
No.
show. And I was going to quit. There's a moment where I was like, "Hey, you know what? This is nice. Let's button it up as it is. I'm not going to go try and search for another host. Like I'm done searching for hosts. I'm done searching for help." And then I was just like, "You know what? You said 10 seasons. So why don't you just do the fucking 10 seasons like you said you were going
Hmm.
to?" And that's that. And whether it's quote unquote successful or not, who cares? You tried and you're
I
doing it.
love it.
And I think that's
I
silly
can't
that
wait.
to not think that. So there's already a ton of guest lineup for season 7 already.
That's because you a badass.
I just like talking to people. I love all my people.
I
And
love that.
I will miss talking to you here, but I think if anything this is more sad for the podcast community not hearing and seeing you, because I still get to see and talk to you every single day. So for me, it is a loss in a sense, like yeah, we don't get to do this as much, but
A
I
community
still get,
loss, but not a personal
yeah.
loss.
And just for
Yeah.
now, right? Like I said, like, we'll see people like Kayla will come in from time to time. We'll get Danielle back
Yeah.
on from time to time, but everyone's gone off and just done all the things that they've been working towards. And I cannot be upset
Hmm.
about that at all for a second. And that,
Well, and
and
this is your thing you're working towards, right?
yeah,
Like it just
exactly.
it
My
helps you to
baby.
focus on that too. So
Yeah, and then it's too. It's like not like you said, not worrying about like, does this align? Is everyone cool? Not that anybody hasn't been, but it's more or less like I don't have to wait, or I don't have to ask, or I don't have
yeah,
to. I could just go for it. And so there
you
is
do
some
it.
freedom to that. And if that means that I dial back on social media because that whole part is a lot, and I just focus on this and hope that that is enough, then that's what it is, right? Like I don't have to be on Pinterest. I don't have to be on these different platforms.
Mhm.
I could just be on my podcast and it'll
Hell
go that
yeah,
way. So, but what helps is engagement, guys. So make sure you're messaging us and letting us know. Now you know the cat's out of the bag. Why I keep saying I instead of we lately, because it is kind of just I, me. But I think it'll be fun. We'll give us around season 7. You will see Haley again. She's not going
for
anywhere.
sure. Like
Um,
I said, it'll probably be like a week or two. I'll be like, B, I need it.
I need to talk
I
about
need to
this.
vent.
I
I
need
need
to
to
vent.
talk about
I need to
this.
vent. But that just pushes me to reach out to more people and get more
Mhm.
experiences on the show. And I have a giant network, um, as I've built over the last couple years, of people that can come back on the
Hell
show,
yeah.
people that I haven't even been able to follow up on because I don't have time. So it's just, again, pushing us both to different levels. And I'm excited.
Doors have opened that you didn't expect to, so that's always fun.
Not my vagina, my doors open. We'll send it on that note. But anyways, guys, we're letting it leave it at that note with Haley's last one for now. But yeah, we'll have her back again soon. Thank you very much, Hales. And I just want to
Absolutely.
say before we get off. Wow, we're extremely sexual. Obviously, Grant is gone for the
Always.
week. Just thank you. And if you ever please ever think that you didn't make a huge impact, go fuck yourself, because that is completely incorrect. Um, every single one of the co-hosts on the show has made a huge impact in my life and on the show. I wouldn't be here. The show wouldn't be where it is. I wouldn't come to these revelations of these next levels without you guys. And I'm forever grateful for you for matching my level every single time, and then understanding when you couldn't match that anymore, that it was a more service for both of us to say it, even though it was hard. That's what makes our
Hmm.
friendship so good. And that's what I want to show other people is like, you need to have your ride or dies that you can say shit with. And to do that, you
Hmm.
have to create that space with them. You can't
Yeah.
be reactive and lose your shit on them when they don't do what everything that you want them to do. If it was my choice, every single one of these fucks would be on this show every single weekend with me,
Every
and we would,
episode.
because I love them and I love being around them, but that's not realistic, and they can't grow as real amazing individuals by doing that. And that's
Right.
maybe not their path. Maybe that's because this is mine and they were meant to be here for a couple seasons and help me gain the
Hell yeah.
confidence and the understanding. So
To
please
kick
know
ass.
that without you guys I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be able to continue on and have the power to do so. So, and yeah, no one's matched me at this level of like wanting to learn the annoying techie parts. No one else besides you understood the like scheduling and Instagram and the fucking bullshit with Zoom that we
I
went
did my
through. And
best for sure.
you did an amazing job, and I hope you leave, like, for now this chapter ends on to the next very proud. And
Yeah.
like you said, you were a fangirl at the beginning of this,
God.
and
The
now you got to,
biggest.
right, and now you got to be one of the biggest and longest lasting
That's
co-hosts, and
crazy.
made the biggest one of the biggest impacts on my life on the show. And people are sad that you're going. Like, I hope you take that and as a
I
positive.
do.
So I'm glad. Thank you very much. And I don't ever want to hear, oh,
Thank
I only
you.
did 10%. I know I did a
Ah,
lot, but
We love you.
it's about the energy, and what you gave me was just as much. So I love you. I love you guys. This season was incredible. I hope you guys join me back.
Woo!
I was like, parts of me are like, do we say it in season 7 so we make people come back just in case they don't come back for me? Just kidding. I do have a lot
Oh,
of fun guests, guys. I'm still gonna be here. I'm wearing fun things like my boats and hose. It'll be a little bit of different format. I am gonna change some things up a little bit. You're not gonna hear some of the same intros that you do. I'm gonna change that up a little bit because this doesn't fit anymore. So a little rebrand is going to be coming for season 7. I have something booked for myself I'm very excited for. So lots of new things happening in 2024. So stick around. Taking one episode off early this season because of everything that's gone on. Your girl's tired. I need an extra week to rebrand, reset. I'm taking it. So this will be the last episode for January. We won't have one next week, but we will be back. I will be back. Fuck, did it already. I will be back March 1st. You'll see me again March 1st, 2024 in season 7. As
Hell
always, guys,
yeah.
thank you for listening. Love you. Until next time. Bye. Thank you guys for stopping by the show today. We appreciate you so much. If you like this episode and you want to hear more, make sure to show us some love on our Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest page, the Be Real Babe Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble channels, like those episodes, and turn on the notification bells. You can find our video version of the show on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify, or you can catch the audio version on Apple and Google Podcast. But stay tuned for more realness coming to you soon. Until next time, babes.